Adam and Eve. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Then He created trees and flowers. He created birds and fish and animals. Then God created Adam, the first man. God wanted Adam to be happy, so He created a glorious garden where Adam could live. God filled the garden with everything Adam could ever want or need. The Garden of Eden was the most beautiful place on earth. Adam was pleased with his home. One day God brought all the creatures to the garden so Adam could name them. There were tigers and birds, monkeys and butterflies. There were so many magnificent animals, and Adam happily named each one. Adam and Eve, Part 2. Adam enjoyed his lovely home and all of his animal friends. Still, God could see that Adam was lonely. God decided to make a partner for Adam. One day, when Adam was asleep, God performed a miracle. He took one rib from Adam's chest, and with it, He created a woman. The woman's name was Eve. Adam loved Eve very much. Eve was Adam's friend and his helper. Adam and Eve married in the lovely garden. God saw that Adam and Eve were very happy, which pleased Him. In exchange for all He gave them, God expected the couple to follow just one simple rule. You may eat from any tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil, God said. Adam and Eve did not question God. They were grateful to God and they wanted to obey God's command. Adam and Eve wanted nothing more than to live happily. One day, Adam and Eve walked by the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Eve noticed the dangling red apples. They looked delicious, but Eve remembered God's command not to eat from that tree. Just then, a snake slid along a branch toward Eve. The snake wanted to tempt Eve into disobeying God. Eve, the sly snake, hissed, "Why don't you pick some apples from this tree? They are sweeter than any others." "Oh no," Eve replied. "God told us not to eat from this tree, but if you eat these apples, you will become as smart as God," the snake says. Eve wanted to be very smart. She picked 2 apples from the forbidden tree. She took a bite from one apple. She gave the other to Adam. He also took a bite of the apple, though he knew he should not. God went to the garden. Adam and Eve tried to hide from Him. They hid because they were ashamed. God knew that they had eaten from the forbidden tree. God was not angry, but He was very sad. God had no choice but to punish Adam, Eve, and the snake for breaking His rule. He forced the snake to slither on the ground forever. He made the snake an enemy to men and women. The snake will now be able to bite and poison people, God said. Then God told Adam and Eve they would have to leave. He said, "Now you will have to plant your own garden. You will have to work hard to build a new home to protect yourselves from the rain and cold." God gave Adam and Eve a clothing made from animal skins. Then He sent them away from the Garden of Eden. God watched in sorrow as Adam and Eve walked away. He knew that Adam and Eve would grow tired from cutting and hauling wood to build their house. He knew they would be hungry when there was not enough rain to make their garden grow. This made God sad, for God still loved them. Once Adam and Eve had gone, God asked angels to guard His precious garden. The angels were happy to serve God. and they flew to earth to protect the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve sadly were never able to return.
Okay, good job.